Hey everybody, Steve Billman here from the Odd Dogs. Hey, today I'm going to deconstruct a tune that I wrote for the Odd Dogs debut album, Beneath the Surface. It's a song called A Simple Word. And initially I had written this as a bass feature, a bass solo piece. But as I was putting the record together, I played the song for the guys and they liked it. And so we came up with an arrangement, added a couple solo sections, and there you go. We put it on the album. But the version I'm going to show you guys today is going to be the solo piece. So if you feel like it, you can learn it and maybe, impress your friends with the piece. Okay. So a little bit of a background. One of my early bass heroes was Stanley Clarke, and Stanley played a lot, used a lot of tenths in his music. And it's a really good way to sort of have a melody, but at the same time using the open strings to sort of have the foundation of the chord there as well. So that's kind of what this piece is influenced by. And it's in 6/8, but it goes between 6/8 and 5/8. And I'm going to put a chart up here in a little bit that you guys can see, so you'll be able to see when those 5/8s come in there. But I'll also mention it as we go through and as we learn the piece. It's in the key of A major, and there are some pickup notes that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But the first thing I want to mention is with my instrument. I know I say this in every video, but I want to make sure that everybody's clear. It's not confusing. That I have a 5-string, but I have a high C on top as opposed to a low B. So you're going to see me playing this string, and don't get it confused and think it's the G string. It's the C string. So with these two notes, if you don't have a C string, you can still play them on your G string. So don't fret. You still will be able to play this piece. It won't sing quite as much, but you'll figure it out. It'll still be okay. All right. So the pickups are happening on beat 5 and beat 6. So there's 4 beat count off, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the pickups are going to be 5 and 6 in. Okay. So here are the notes. I start on a B, and I pick the B, and then I hammer on a C sharp. Okay. And I do the same thing with the E, and then I hammer on an F sharp. And I'm being a little exaggerated here, guys, with my hand, just so you can kind of see that I'm hammering it on. I'm not striking the note with my right hand. Okay, so those are the pickups. So in time, if I'm counting it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so those are outside of the top of the tune. When I get to the top of the tune, the main melody is simply going to be this: A to B, and again, these are all hammer-ons. A to B, and then my open G string. Okay. Now, as I said before, if you don't have the C, you can still play it here. The only downside is you're not going to really be able to have the B and the G note ringing together, which, it's important, but it'll still work. So A to B, hammer on, open G. Then E to F sharp, hammer on, open D. Then B to C sharp, hammer on, and then open A. Okay, so that's the main theme of this first part of the melody. And that theme is going to happen 3 times. And each time there's going to be what you could either call a pickup or a fill in there that's different each time. Okay, so counting the pickup as a fill, that would be the first one, 5 and 6 in. And then I play the riff, the melody. And then there's another fill, right? And that second fill is going to be the same as the pickup fill, but I'm going to add one extra phrase. So instead of starting on B and on beat 5, I'm going to start on F sharp and on beat 4. So here's the going into that phrase, main melody, and then 4 and 5 and 6 in. And again, I'm just hammering on F sharp, G sharp, B, C sharp, E, F sharp. Okay? So 4 and 5 and 6 in. Okay? So if I do that just up to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then I repeat that same melodic phrase, and I have a different fill. And that's where your first 5/8 measure happens. So I start on C sharp, I sort of gliss down or slide down to B, and then I hit A and F sharp. So again, let me do it, the whole thing with those two fills. A 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the 5/8 measure. Again. That's the last fill. So I'm only picking the first note. Everything else is glisses and hammer-ons. Okay? So that last time, all right? So let me play the whole thing together, all those parts up to that point, and then I'll go to the next section. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and you'll notice that as I'm playing these two, I'm adding sort of vibrato, or I'm pulling the string a little bit, just to kind of give a little bit of character to the notes. Remember, we don't want to just read the notes as they're written on the page. We want to put our inflections in there. We want to interpret them. Not so much that the melody is not recognizable, but you want to put your personality in there. And this is one way that I'm doing it, is just sort of, you know, pulling the string or putting some vibrato on it to make sure that the feeling is there. Okay. All right. So the next part, now I'm going to do a sequence of chords. So I'm going to hit an F sharp, an E, and an A. And again, if you don't have that high C string, then you can do it here. Okay. So F sharp, E, A, F sharp minor 7 chord. Then I'm going to go down to E, D sharp, G sharp, and again you can play it here. And then I'm going to go down to a D, C sharp, F sharp, and again you can play it here. On the E major 7 chord, I'm also going to go from D sharp, G sharp to a C sharp, F sharp, keeping the E. So it becomes like an E major 7 to an E 6/9 chord, and the same thing on the D chord. D major 7, D 6/9. Okay. So let me play that for you guys. I'm going to play the last phrase, that main phrase, and then I'm going to go into this section. So here we go. Okay, so on my right hand, I'm hitting the lower note with my thumb, and then I'm pulling the strings with my 2 fingers, my index finger and my middle finger. Index finger is on the G string, middle finger is on the C string, okay? And then, so let me play that one more time just to make it clear. Okay, so there you go. That's the first part of this melody, and again in part 2, I'm going to connect you to the B section from this. All right, you guys. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.